The old storyteller had barely finished pouring the tea when familiar footsteps sounded outside the pavilion, and judging by the noise, the jianghu has brought trouble back with them. Pour yourself a cup, daoists, for tonight's tale carries betrayal, hidden treasures, and enough mischief to make even an old fox nervous. Within the Moonlight Maze, Chu Feng has exposed Elder Zhao Yu's smiling mask and defeated him, then uncovered the Beast Emperor's hidden treasures and claimed the legendary Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader. Now, after breaking through to rank 2 Martial Emperor, Chu Feng has finally reached the Immortality Peach Tree, where hundreds of legendary peaches await, but one desperate Zhao Yu is already begging for a share. The dispute should have ended with a simple apology. Yet in the martial world, pride often weighed more heavily than reason, especially when the one being forced to bow his head was a management elder of the Heavenly Law Palace.
Yu Ling, what little friend Chu Feng said is very reasonable. Since you agreed earlier, you should apologize now. Since it is still an apology, what harm is there in saying it with a louder voice?
The instant those words rang out, surprise swept through the surrounding cultivators. The speaker was neither Chu Feng nor an expert from the underworld palace, nor some distant grand character seeking to interfere. He was an elder of the Heavenly Law Palace itself. His name was Zhao Yu. Like Yue Ling, he was a rank 6 Martial Emperor, and his position within the Heavenly Law Palace stood on roughly the same level. Yet where Yue Ling carried an increasingly unpleasant reputation, Zhao Yu was widely respected throughout the Holy Land of martialism, famous for having performed countless good deeds. That was precisely why Zhao Yu's intervention carried such weight. Yue Ling could ignore Chu Feng's contempt, but openly refusing a respected elder of equal status would make his humiliation even greater. In a gathering filled with powerful witnesses, reputation itself had become another battlefield. Yue Ling's expression stiffened. He remained silent for several breaths, resentment boiling beneath his composure. Finally, with no graceful path of retreat left, he raised his voice.
Little friend, Wang Qiang, this old man was indeed in the wrong earlier. I hope you do not take offense.
The apology was reluctant, every word sounding as though it had been dragged from Yue Ling by force. But an apology was still an apology.
Haha! Exclamation! Lying. I am a person of great moral stature. I will not take offense to something committed by a person of low stature.
Wang Qiang's laughter struck harder than any insult delivered with a solemn face. Yue Ling's anger immediately surged, and the other Heavenly Law Palace members were no less furious. To them, a junior had just mocked one of their management elders before an enormous crowd. Wang Qiang had not merely accepted the apology, he had turned Yue Ling's concession into another public defeat. For an organization as proud as the Heavenly Law Palace, humiliation inflicted by the younger generation could be remembered far longer than an ordinary clash of fists. Zhao Yu, however, seemed completely unaffected by the fury around him. Wearing an easy smile, he walked directly toward Chu Feng.
As the saying goes, seeing once is better than hearing 100 times. They all say little friend Chu Feng's talent is outstanding. Seeing it myself today, your reputation is truly well-deserved.
Elder Zhao Yu, you are being too courteous.
Chu Feng clasped his fist and returned a polite smile. Yet that courtesy lasted only an instant. He did not continue exchanging pleasantries, nor did he show any intention of growing close to Zhao Yu.
Come, let's go. There's still a long journey ahead.
Chu Feng turned toward Wang Qiang and prepared to leave. Zhao Yu might possess an excellent reputation and a gentle manner, but Chu Feng had already noticed something that made him wary. When Yue Ling had insulted Chu Feng earlier, Zhao Yu had remained silent. When the two sides made their agreement concerning apologies, Zhao Yu had also remained silent, Only after Chu Feng shattered the spirit formation and won the approval of those present did Zhao Yu finally step forward and speak in his favor. To Chu Feng, timing revealed more than words. Zhao Yu's kindness had appeared only after the balance of public opinion shifted. That made his smile far less reassuring. An enemy who bared his fangs could be watched openly. A man who concealed his intentions behind benevolence demanded far greater caution. In Chu Feng's eyes, Zhao Yu was therefore more dangerous than Yue Ling. Yue Ling's hostility was obvious. Zhao Yu was the sort of man who might hide a dagger behind a smile, and such opponents were often the hardest to defend against.
Ha-ho!
Zhao Yu merely chuckled at Chu Feng's indifference. His expression remained calm, but for the briefest instant, a trace of ruthless anger flickered beneath that seemingly harmless laughter. The group continued deeper into the labyrinth. As they advanced, the scenery became increasingly extraordinary. Strange plants and rare herbs appeared along the paths, but these were no ordinary spiritual vegetation. Almost every one of them concealed something valuable. Some contained treasures that could greatly benefit cultivation once refined. Others produced extraordinary metals suitable for forging weaponry. Treasure after treasure appeared in forms that challenged everything the cultivators thought they understood about plants. Yet fortune in this place was never offered freely. Without exception, every valuable plant possessed astonishing power or was protected by dangerous obstacles. Even Chu Feng had never before encountered rare herbs so formidable. Whenever another treasure appeared, cultivators would rush forward in competition, only to discover that obtaining it required overcoming one difficulty after another. The deeper lesson quickly became obvious to the true experts. Time, strength, and spiritual power were resources as valuable as the treasures themselves. Fighting over every moderately valuable herb could exhaust them before they ever reached the true fortune hidden at the heart of the maze. Thus, Chu Feng and many of the strongest figures showed little interest in treasures that were not sufficiently precious. They continued forward instead, because everyone understood the same principle. The more extraordinary the treasure, the deeper inside the labyrinth it was likely to be. Eventually, the road ahead divided into 10 separate paths. According to the map circulating among the cultivators, everyone should enter the third path. That route was genuine, and it would eventually lead toward the Immortality Peach Tree. Yet when the crowd prepared to follow the map, Chu Feng suddenly broke away from them. Instead of choosing the third path, he headed toward the 7th.
Little friend, Chu Feng, why are you taking that path? That path appears to be extremely dangerous. I'd suggest that you not take it.
Elder Huang Guan of the Underworld Palace spoke out of genuine concern. His warning was reasonable. Of all 10 passages, the 7th released the most dangerous sensation. Even without the guidance of the map, most cultivators would instinctively avoid it. But there was one crucial truth the others did not know. The 7th path was actually a shortcut toward the Immortality Peach Tree. More importantly, that path would lead Chu Feng toward the treasures left behind by the Beast Emperor. For Chu Feng, this was no reckless attempt to prove his courage. The danger of the 7th path was real, but so was the reward hidden beyond it. Knowing information that the others lacked transformed what appeared to be madness into a calculated gamble. The safest road was not necessarily the road with the greatest opportunity.
Senior, thank you for your warning. However, I feel that this path is the most challenging. Thus, I wish to attempt to go through it. As for all of you, it would be better to take the third path. Compared to this one, the third path is indeed much safer.
Those words only deepened the crowd's confusion. If Chu Feng himself admitted that the third path was safer, then why deliberately choose the 7th? Most merely found his decision strange, but among the crowd were experienced cultivators whose eyes immediately changed. They did not dismiss Chu Feng's choice as simple youthful boldness.
Heck, little friend, Chu Feng, although we obtained that map very easily, what is recorded on it is true. On our way here, you should have seen that we managed to avoid numerous killing formations. So many people of completely different cultivations have entered this place, yet not a single person has died. In the past, something like that would have been impossible. That proves the map being circulated is reliable. At a time like this, I suggest you stop thinking yourself clever and simply follow the map.
The reasoning sounded sensible, but the mockery in Yue Ling's voice was impossible to hide. After being humiliated earlier, his hostility toward Chu Feng had only grown stronger.
I have my choice, whereas you have your own choice. As for my choice, I do not need you to worry about it.
You are truly unable to differentiate good from bad.
With a cold voice, Yue Ling turned away. Soon afterward, part of the crowd began entering the third path as the map instructed. Others lingered, still worried for Chu Feng. Several tried to persuade him to abandon the seventh path, but no warning could alter his decision. Then, at precisely that moment, Zhao Yu smiled again.
Little friend, Chu Feng, I know that you are very strong. However, your cultivation is still limited. Even though your world spirit techniques are extremely powerful, this old man truly cannot feel reassured about you taking the seventh path alone. In order to prevent the holy land of martialism from losing a young genius, how about this old man accompany you through the seventh path?
Chu Feng immediately frowned. His distrust of Zhao Yu had already taken root. He did not believe this elder suddenly wished to protect him out of pure kindness. Worse still, Chu Feng was entering the seventh path specifically because of the treasures hidden there. Having Zhao Yu beside him could only make matters more troublesome. Yet refusing Zhao Yu outright was equally dangerous. Chu Feng immediately understood the trap. Zhao Yu had most likely sensed that his choice of the seventh path was based on hidden information rather than reckless courage. If Chu Feng desperately tried to stop him from following, that reaction itself would confirm Zhao Yu's suspicion. Zhao Yu was indeed a cunning old fox, but he was not the only one. Chu Feng quietly swept his perception across the remaining crowd. Apart from the experts of the three palaces, numerous reclusive old monsters were hidden among the cultivators. Strangely, many of them had not yet entered the third path. They were watching, waiting, judging Chu Feng's every reaction. Those veterans had survived long enough to know that extraordinary geniuses rarely made inexplicable decisions without reason. If Chu Feng abandoned the publicly verified route and deliberately chose the most dangerous path, then perhaps danger was not the only thing waiting there. Perhaps there was also a fortune greater than the Immortality Peach Tree itself. If Chu Feng rejected Zhao Yu too strongly, those old monsters would immediately take it as confirmation. Then Zhao Yu would not be the only one following him. Every suspicious expert still lingering nearby might enter the seventh path as well. And that was how the situation suddenly turned bad. Chu Feng knew where the greater treasure lay, yet knowledge had now become a burden. The more carefully he protected his secret, the more suspicious the surrounding experts would become. One wrong response could transform a dangerous hidden route into a road crowded with powerful competitors. The seventh path had begun as Chu Feng's private advantage. Now, before he had even taken the first true step into it, Zhao Yu and the watching old monsters were already threatening to turn that advantage into his greatest problem. The moment Elder Zhao Yu offered to accompany him down the seventh path, Chu Feng did not hesitate. There was no caution in his answer, No attempt to retreat, and not even the slightest trace of unease.
Since Elder Zhao Yu is willing to accompany me, that would naturally be excellent.
His agreement came so quickly that Elder Zhao Yu's expression subtly changed. For the first time, doubt crept into the elder's heart. He had expected hesitation. He had expected Chu Feng to make excuses. Instead, the young man had accepted, as though this were exactly what he wanted. The other ancient experts began entering the third path one after another. They, too, felt that their previous judgment might have been wrong. Since Chu Feng had already chosen otherwise, there was no reason for them to remain behind. Better to continue through the path they believed safest and hasten deeper into the Moonlight Maze. Elder Zhao Yu, however, was trapped by his own words. Regret had already appeared in his heart, but an expert of his status could hardly withdraw immediately after volunteering. He could only harden his resolve and follow Chu Feng toward the seventh path. Wang Qiang suddenly clasped his fists, a mischievous smile hanging on his face.
Elder Zhao Yu. Go. Good look.
Most of those present could not understand what Wang Qiang meant. Chu Feng, however, looked at him differently. When everyone else had tried to persuade Chu Feng away from the seventh path, Wang Qiang alone had remained beside him without objection. Now, instead of worrying about Chu Feng, he was wishing Elder Zhao Yu good luck with that strange grin. That reaction carried a meaning deeper than his stuttered words. Wang Qiang had apparently noticed something the others had missed. Whether he understood the seventh path itself, or merely understood Chu Feng, his confidence was clearly not misplaced. Soon, the group disappeared into the third path. Chu Feng and Elder Zhao Yu alone stepped into the seventh. Inside, Elder Zhao Yu immediately became cautious. Every step was measured. Every fluctuation in the surrounding air drew his attention. The Moonlight Maze had earned its reputation as the second most dangerous forbidden area in the holy land of martialism through countless terrifying legends, and no expert who valued his life would treat such a place lightly. Yet as they advanced, something strange happened. The sinister pressure surrounding the seventh path grew increasingly intense, but no actual calamity appeared. No lethal formation activated. No hidden creature attacked. No deadly obstruction barred the road. Gradually, Elder Zhao Yu understood. The seventh path only felt dangerous. The terror surrounding it was a deception. And the instant Elder Zhao Yu realized there was no immediate threat from the path itself, the greatest danger in the seventh path ceased to be the Moonlight Maze. It became the man walking beside Chu Feng. Without warning, boundless killing intent erupted. Like an invisible tide of slaughter, it surged toward Chu Feng and swallowed the surrounding space. At the same moment, terrifying, oppressive might descended, sealing off his escape. Chu Feng turned around. Elder Zhao Yu stood behind him, his disguise of courtesy finally discarded.
You finally revealed your true appearance.
There was no panic in Chu Feng's eyes. Instead, a faint smile appeared on his face. This betrayal had not surprised him at all.
Chu Feng, it seems you already guessed my intentions. You truly are intelligent. But intelligence is one thing. Arrogance is another. You knew why I followed you, yet you still dared to travel alone with me. Such courage. Are you truly not afraid of death?
Earlier, Chu Feng's disregard had already wounded Elder Zhao Yu's pride. Now there were no witnesses, no fellow experts, and no reason to maintain the mask of an honorable senior. His hostility was finally laid bare.
No, this is not arrogance. It is confidence.
That difference was the heart of Chu Feng's decision. Arrogance meant entering danger while blind to the consequences. Confidence meant knowing the danger was there, measuring it and stepping forward, because he believed he possessed the means to overcome it.
Enough nonsense. Tell me exactly what treasure lies here. If you speak truthfully, I can spare your life.
Do you take me for a 3-year-old child, though? You truly think I would believe such a lie?
Elder Zhao Yu's patience vanished.
You truly refuse to shed tears until you see your own coffin.
In the next instant, the rank 6 martial emperor attacked. He did not probe Chu Feng with some casual strike. He immediately unleashed an earthen taboo martial skill, releasing overwhelming destructive force through the narrow path. That choice revealed Zhao Yu's true intention more clearly than any threat. A rank 6 martial emperor opening with an earthen taboo martial skill against a supposed rank 1 martial emperor was not intimidation, it was an execution attempt. Chu Feng stood his ground.
You are not qualified to declare yourself my coffin.
Thunder exploded around him, the thunder armor covered his body, and the thunder wings spread behind him. In a heartbeat, Chu Feng's cultivation surged from rank 1 martial emperor to rank 3 martial emperor. Then came his counterattack. Earthen taboo, firmament slash. 9 slashes tore forward in relentless succession, each carrying tremendous martial power. The collision of the 2 earthen taboo martial skills sent violent energy rolling through the passage. The firmament slash was already superior to Elder Zhao Yu's martial skill, and Chu Feng's exceptional comprehension pushed its might even higher. The result defied Elder Zhao Yu's expectations. Chu Feng was not suppressed. Instead, Elder Zhao Yu was forced backward again and again.
Brat exclamation, you actually possess heaven-defying battle power, capable of surmounting 5 levels of cultivation.
Shock spread across Elder Zhao Yu's aged face. What stood before him contradicted what almost every martial emperor understood about battle power. Ordinary martial emperors could surpass roughly 3 levels of cultivation through heaven-defying battle power. Within the holy land of martialism, Chu Feng and the ancient era's elves' little princess were publicly known as extraordinary beings, capable of surpassing 4. But the strength Chu Feng had just displayed reached beyond even that standard. This was what made the revelation so frightening. Chu Feng's rank 3 aura did not represent rank 3 combat strength. His heaven-defying battle power allowed him to fight at a level comparable to a rank 5 martial emperor. The cultivation realm, Elder Zhao Yu could see, was only the surface.
Now do you understand whether this is confidence or arrogance?
The brief exchange had already given Chu Feng valuable information. Although Zhao Yu and the Yin-Yang Immortal were both rank 6 martial emperors, Zhao Yu was clearly weaker. Chu Feng had originally prepared to use the Qilin arrow at the decisive moment if necessary, but after testing Zhao Yu's strength, another possibility emerged. Perhaps the precious Qilin arrow would not be needed at all. Chu Feng was already changing strategies. The Qilin arrow was his lethal insurance, but using such a trump card unnecessarily would be wasteful. If his own techniques could defeat Zhao Yu, then preserving that arrow for a more dangerous enemy was the wiser choice. Elder Zhao Yu forced down his alarm and answered with pride.
Even so, your true battle power is only comparable to a rank 5 martial emperor. This old man is a rank 6 martial emperor. What makes you believe you can contend against me?
Yet his actions betrayed the confidence of his words. Elder Zhao Yu immediately brought out his incomplete imperial armament and launched a relentless barrage. After being driven backward once, Zhao Yu no longer regarded Chu Feng as an ordinary junior. Taking out his incomplete imperial armament was an admission made without words. He now considered Chu Feng a genuine threat.
Then give it a try.
Chu Feng drew his own incomplete imperial armament, the heavenly immortal sword. At the same time, 4 terrifying powers awakened around him. The 4 great supreme secret skills were unleashed together. 4 colossal divine beast-like manifestations surged forth, their presence shaking the battlefield. At Chu Feng's center, the heavenly immortal sword radiated a vast and righteous aura, as though sword intent and ancient divine beasts had joined forces beneath a single command.
Brett, you.
Once again, Elder Zhao Yu was shaken. Chu Feng's mastery over the heavenly immortal sword was already impressive, but it was those 4 enormous divine beast forms that truly disturbed him. They were secret skills. 4 of them, and each carried power far beyond what he expected from ordinary secret skills. More unsettling still, their appearances stirred something in his memory. But Chu Feng gave him no time to think. The heavenly immortal sword swept forward, the 4 great supreme secret skills attacking alongside him. Zhao Yu answered with his own incomplete imperial armament, and the 2 collided again and again. Sword force crashed against sword force. Martial power surged through the 7th path. Neither side immediately overwhelmed the other. For a rank 3 martial emperor to clash head-on with a rank 6 martial emperor, using incomplete imperial armaments and remain evenly matched, was already astonishing. Chu Feng was no longer merely surviving Zhao Yu's attacks. He was forcing the elder to fight seriously for every advantage. Then, after several exchanges, recognition finally flashed through Elder Zhao Yu's mind.
Could those be Emperor King's 4 guardian beasts?
The legendary descriptions he had heard long ago overlapped with the 4 mighty forms surrounding Chu Feng. Chu Feng gave a cold smile.
Your observation is quite sharp.
It was not a direct explanation, yet it was enough. Elder Zhao Yu understood the implication.
Exactly who are you? Could it be that you are Emperor King's successor?
His voice had grown hoarse. For an elder of his experience, the possibility was almost too astonishing to accept. This revelation changed more than Zhao Yu's understanding of Chu Feng's strength. Emperor Qing was a legendary existence, and possessing the 4 guardian beasts meant Chu Feng's foundations reached into an inheritance far greater than Zhao Yu had imagined. The young man before him was becoming more mysterious with every exchange. Chu Feng, however, had no intention of satisfying his curiosity.
That is not what you should be worrying about right now. You should be worrying about your life.
What did you say?
Confusion crossed Elder Zhao Yu's face. Then the atmosphere changed. A crimson aura erupted from Chu Feng's body. It spread through the 7th path like an omen of annihilation. Chu Feng raised the heavenly immortal sword and pointed its edge directly at Elder Zhao Yu.
Profound firmament annihilation.
The instant those words fell, the crimson power erupted. A terrifying aura locked onto Elder Zhao Yu, carrying a sense of danger far beyond the attacks Chu Feng had displayed moments before.
Damn it!
Only now did Elder Zhao Yu realize that the situation had turned truly dangerous. He wanted to escape the range of the attack, but Chu Feng had never intended to give him that opportunity. The battle had reached its decisive point. Zhao Yu had entered the 7th path, believing Chu Feng was prey carrying a hidden treasure. Instead, every exchange had stripped away another layer of Chu Feng's strength, until the hunter himself was staring at a killing technique he had failed to anticipate. Chu Feng's gaze turned cold.
Die.
At his command, all the destructive force contained within the crimson aura surged toward Elder Zhao Yu in one overwhelming wave. And with that, the 7th path revealed its cruelest irony. It had never been the road Chu Feng needed to fear. For Elder Zhao Yu, the true danger had been Chu Feng from the very beginning. A thunderous explosion tore through the passageway. The force was so violent that even the seemingly indestructible crystal corridor shuddered beneath the impact, as though the entire hidden structure had been struck by a heavenly calamity. Crimson energy surged through the air like burning clouds before slowly dispersing. When the chaos finally cleared, Elder Zhao Yu stood within the fading light in a devastated state, grievously wounded and barely recognizable. Chu Feng's profound firmament annihilation had struck him directly. The attack had not ended Zhao Yu's life, but it had shattered his ability to continue fighting. The mighty rank 6 martial emperor who had entered this passageway with confidence could now barely resist. Chu Feng's surprise attack succeeded because he had judged both his enemy and the situation correctly. Zhao Yu might have possessed the cultivation of a rank 6 martial emperor, but cultivation alone did not determine true combat power. His overall strength was clearly inferior to the yin-yang immortals. More importantly, despite being a management elder of the Heavenly Law Palace, Zhao Yu possessed no imperial armament. Without such a weapon to break through the terrifying might of the profound firmament annihilation, he could only endure its power head-on. Against Chu Feng, that weakness proved decisive. Yet Elder Zhao Yu had survived. His survival was not simply because he was a rank 6 martial emperor. Hidden upon him had been a defensive treasure designed for one purpose alone, to sacrifice itself at the most critical instant and preserve its master's life. The treasure had fulfilled its purpose. Zhao Yu still breathed, but that was all it had accomplished. His life was now completely within Chu Feng's grasp. If Chu Feng wished to kill him, there was almost nothing Zhao Yu could do to prevent it. However, Chu Feng did not immediately deliver the final blow. Zhao Yu was, after all, a management elder of the Heavenly Law Palace. Worse still, many people had witnessed the two of them entering this passageway together. If Zhao Yu died here and Chu Feng emerged alone, suspicion would naturally fall upon him. The Heavenly Law Palace had already shown hostility toward Chu Feng, but he was not yet in a position to openly wage war against that enormous power. Killing Zhao Yu would satisfy the moment, yet potentially create a far more dangerous enemy outside this passageway. Chu Feng considered the matter for a moment. Then, slowly, the corner of his mouth rose into an unusual smile.
You can't die yet. At least, you can't die by my hands.
World spirit power immediately gathered around Chu Feng, but instead of healing Elder Zhao Yu, Chu Feng began altering his outward appearance. Under Chu Feng's world spirit techniques, every visible trace of Zhao Yu's injuries disappeared. To an outside observer, the Heavenly Law Palace Elder would appear perfectly unharmed. But the truth beneath that disguise was entirely different. Zhao Yu's injuries remained extremely severe, and Chu Feng had even used his techniques to prevent those injuries from being healed. The elder was forced to remain trapped in his weakened condition. This was far more calculating than simply sparing Zhao Yu. Chu Feng had created an illusion of safety while ensuring that the elder possessed almost none of his former strength. Zhao Yu looked like a rank 6 martial emperor, yet in reality even an ordinary rank 1 martial emperor could now threaten his life. Elder Zhao Yu could feel exactly how helpless he had become. Chu Feng had neither released him nor killed him, and that uncertainty frightened him even more.
You, what exactly are you planning to do to me?
Chu Feng merely looked at him with a bright smile.
Don't be so anxious. You'll find out soon enough.
To anyone else, that smile might have appeared harmless. To Zhao Yu, it was more terrifying than open killing intent.
Don't do anything reckless! Otherwise, our Heavenly Law Palace will never let you escape the consequences.
Chu Feng answered only with quiet laughter.
Hi.
That complete indifference made Zhao Yu's heart sink. For the first time, he deeply regretted following Chu Feng into the passageway. Only now did Zhao Yu understand what made Chu Feng truly dangerous. His frightening talent and battle strength were only part of it. Chu Feng also possessed the nerve to act under overwhelming pressure, and conventional threats could not easily control him. The reputation of the Heavenly Law Palace meant little when the man invoking it had already become a prisoner. They continued deeper into the strange corridor until, after some time, Chu Feng suddenly stopped. Zhao Yu immediately became alert. He looked around, but there was nothing unusual about this section of the passageway. No treasure, no gate, no visible mechanism. His fear rapidly grew. Unable to understand why Chu Feng had stopped, Zhao Yu assumed the worst. Gathering what little strength remained in him, he shouted.
Chu Feng! Exclamation. If you dare kill me, the Heavenly Law Palace will never let you get away with it! Exclamation. Think carefully before you act.
Chu Feng glanced at him with open mockery.
Look at how frightened you are. Are all the elders of the Heavenly Law Palace cowards like you?
Then Chu Feng ignored him and turned his attention toward the walls. This passageway was extraordinary. Its walls were not formed from ordinary stone, but from dazzling crystal-like material. Beautiful as they were, those walls possessed astonishing durability. Even Chu Feng's powerful attacks could do little more than make them tremble. Breaking through them by brute force was impossible. Chu Feng slowly pressed his hands along the crystalline surface, carefully examining one section after another. Then came a soft click. A small portion of the seemingly unyielding wall suddenly sank beneath Chu Feng's palm. Zhao Yu's eyes immediately sharpened. As an experienced elder, he instantly realized that Chu Feng had discovered some sort of hidden mechanism. Chu Feng smiled and reached into his cosmos sack. From within, he withdrew a special title plate, the very plate he had obtained from the legendary Beast Emperor, the Black Dragon King.
You wanted to know what treasure is hidden here, didn't you? Then I'll let you see exactly what's inside.
Chu Feng placed the title plate against the sunken section of the wall. The opening had been too small for his hand, yet the title plate fit into it perfectly, as though the mechanism had been waiting countless years for this exact key. Another sharp click echoed through the corridor. Immediately afterward, world spirit energy gathered above the passageway, and a world spirit gate opened in the empty air. Without hesitation, Chu Feng entered. Zhao Yu was given no choice at all. Chu Feng brought the weakened elder through the gate with him. Beyond the gate lay an entirely separate space. It was not particularly vast, yet almost every part of it was filled with treasure. Cultivation resources, rare treasures, incomplete imperial armaments, natural oddities, and precious objects of extraordinary value were gathered together in astonishing quantities. Most shocking of all was a mountain-like pile of dragon-mark world spirit stones. For Chu Feng, who was himself a dragon-mark royal cloak world spiritist, such stones were far more than ordinary wealth. They were resources directly connected to the world spiritist path, and the enormous quantity stored here revealed just how extraordinary the owner of this treasury had once been. Elder Zhao Yu stared around in disbelief. Even with his experience as a management elder of the Heavenly Law Palace, the sight before him left him overwhelmed.
What kind of place is this? How can there be so many treasurous heavens? Some of these things are already extinct. They may not even exist anywhere else in the holy land of martialism.
His gaze soon landed upon the enormous collection of world spirit stones.
There are actually this many dragon-mark world spirit stones. Where did all of these come from?
Excitement burned within Zhao Yu, but beneath it lay an even stronger bitterness. He blamed his own lack of strength. In his mind, if he had only been stronger, he could have defeated Chu Feng, forced the secret of this location from him, and claimed every treasure within this hidden space. Instead, he could do nothing except look. The countless treasures before his eyes were destined to become Chu Feng's possessions. There was a cruel irony in Zhao Yu's situation. He had followed Chu Feng hoping to seize an advantage, yet now he had been brought directly into a treasure deposit beyond his imagination, while lacking the strength to claim even a single object. For someone driven by greed and status, merely witnessing such wealth could almost be considered another form of punishment. Chu Feng, however, had not brought Zhao Yu here merely to let him admire the treasury.
You want to know who left all these treasures behind? Then take a look at this.
Chu Feng walked toward the most eye-catching place within the separate space. There rested a rectangular treasure chest of deep red. The chest alone was clearly an object of tremendous value, Yet Chu Feng already knew that whatever waited inside was far more precious. With a firm motion, Chu Feng opened it. Silvery radiance instantly erupted from within the chest, flooding the entire space with brilliant light. Even Chu Feng's vision was momentarily overwhelmed. Gradually, the overwhelming radiance weakened. And when the final veil of silver light faded away, a terrifying weapon was revealed before Chu Feng and Zhao Yu. The weapon stretched roughly 4 meters in length. Its main body resembled a great silver rod, but cold blades extended from both ends, one facing forward, the other backward, forming a deadly double-ended weapon. Coiled around the silver shaft was the figure of a dragon. Every scale and curve appeared astonishingly vivid, and the creature's presence radiated an unmistakable sense of domination. There could be no mistake. It was an imperial armament, and its aura surpassed that of ordinary imperial armaments. An imperial armament was already enough to dramatically alter the combat power of a martial emperor. Zhao Yu's earlier defeat had partly resulted from lacking one. Yet the weapon before them was no ordinary imperial armament. Its extraordinary pressure immediately suggested a connection to someone who had once stood at the summit of the holy land of martialism. Elder Zhao Yu stared at the weapon. His eyes widened, and even his voice began to tremble with disbelief.
Heavens! That imperial armament. Could it be?
Recognition struck him like lightning.
Could it really be the legendary Beast Emperor, the Black Dragon King's imperial armament, the Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader?
And with that name, the entire treasure deposit gained a completely different meaning. The title plate, the hidden world spirit gate, the countless treasures, and now this extraordinary imperial armament all pointed back toward the Black Dragon King. Chu Feng had not merely uncovered a forgotten storehouse. He had reached something tied directly to the legacy of the legendary Beast Emperor. For Chu Feng, the most important question was no longer whether this journey had been worthwhile. The real question was what kind of power the Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader possessed, and how much further the Black Dragon King's inheritance might elevate him once this weapon truly entered his hands. The Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader was no ordinary weapon. Its name had once shaken the holy land of martialism, for it had belonged to the legendary Beast Emperor, the Black Dragon King. Countless experts had fallen beneath its edge, and every tale surrounding it carried the weight of blood, conquest, and overwhelming imperial might. There was even an old legend that the Black Dragon King had once used this very blade to cleave apart another expert's imperial armament. More importantly, that defeated expert had come from the Heavenly Law Palace. That was why Zhao Yu recognized it. Though the Heavenly Law Palace elder had never personally laid eyes upon the weapon, its appearance had long been carved into the records and memories of his sect.
That's right. This is the Beast Emperor, the Black Dragon King's imperial armament, the Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader.
Zhao Yu stared at the ancient weapon as though an impossible legend had suddenly materialized before him. The Beast Emperor had vanished from the world tens of thousands of years ago, and with him, the Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader had disappeared as well. Yet now, the lost imperial armament was standing right before his eyes.
So it was hidden here all along. Exactly what is this place? Could this possibly be the burial ground of the Beast Emperor, the Black Dragon King?
You guessed only half of it. Senior Black Dragon King's treasures from throughout his life are indeed hidden here. However, he himself is not buried in this place.
Then Chu Feng reached forward. His hand closed around the Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader, and without hesitation, he poured his own aura into the legendary weapon. The chamber erupted. Violent winds exploded through the confined space. Lightning tore across the surroundings in dazzling arcs. while tremendous dragon roars thundered from the Imperial armament, as though some ancient beast had awakened after 10,000 years of silence. Already gravely injured, Zhao Yu could not endure such pressure. The raging force hurled him away and drove him helplessly across the ground, while lightning continued to batter him, worsening his wounds until blood spilled from his mouth.
Stop! Exclamation! Stop this immediately! Exclamation! If this continues, I'm going to die.
Chu Feng did not respond. He had heard the elder clearly, but at that moment his entire focus was fixed upon subduing the Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader. Whether Zhao Yu could withstand the aftermath was hardly Chu Feng's concern. This was not merely the act of picking up a treasure. An Imperial armament possessed tremendous power and its own resistance. To make such a weapon acknowledge a new master required more than cultivation. It required the wielder to possess enough strength, potential, and dominance to force the weapon itself to yield. At last the storm vanished, the lightning faded, the dragon roars fell silent, and the chamber returned to an eerie calm. Zhao Yu weakly raised his head. The instant his eyes landed on Chu Feng, disbelief froze across his face. Then came envy, then jealousy. Chu Feng had succeeded. The legendary Imperial armament had been subdued.
Absolute submission. You actually made an Imperial armament of this level enter absolute submission.
Subduing an Imperial armament was already considered an extraordinary accomplishment. Making one enter absolute submission was something so rare that most cultivators could spend their entire lives without witnessing it even once. Yet when Zhao Yu remembered who stood before him, the impossible suddenly became almost reasonable. Chu Feng possessed heaven-defying battle power capable of crossing 5 cultivation levels. By the standards of ordinary cultivators, he had already stepped beyond what common sense was meant to contain. Even so, Zhao Yu's heart remained turbulent. This was not some nameless Imperial armament. It was the Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader, the weapon of the Black Dragon King himself.
Indeed, it has entered absolute submission. Its power is extremely strong. Unfortunately, it still wasn't enough for me to break through.
You didn't break through. How could that be? What happened just now was clearly absolute submission.
Zhao Yu could not understand it. When an Imperial armament entered absolute submission, it would normally share a portion of its power with its master. That power was generally enough to produce a cultivation breakthrough. Chu Feng was only a rank 1 martial emperor. In Zhao Yu's eyes, even if that power could not propel him all the way to rank 3 martial emperor, reaching rank 2 should have been more than reasonable. And therein lay one of Chu Feng's greatest advantages and greatest burdens. His strength surpassed cultivators of the same realm by an absurd margin. But the energy required for each of his own breakthroughs was equally extraordinary. What would be a vast opportunity for another martial emperor could amount to only another step toward the threshold for Chu Feng. Chu Feng offered Zhao Yu no explanation. His attention had already shifted to the cultivation resources and natural oddities scattered throughout the chamber. The Furious Coiling Dragon Beheader alone had failed to push him through the barrier, but Chu Feng was certain of one thing. If he refined everything the Black Dragon King had left behind here, his breakthrough would come. He sat down cross-legged. Then, right before Zhao Yu's astonished eyes, Chu Feng began consuming and refining the cultivation resources with terrifying speed.
Heavens! What kind of person is this?
To Zhao Yu, the scene bordered on madness. Chu Feng refined precious cultivation resources as easily and rapidly as an ordinary man might finish a simple meal. There was no hesitation, no visible difficulty, and no sign that his body was nearing its limit. Then Chu Feng turned toward the natural oddities. Zhao Yu's shock transformed into fear.
You! What exactly are you? Are you some kind of monster?
Natural oddities contained violently berserk energy. For ordinary cultivators, forcibly refining such things could lead to disaster. Yet Chu Feng handled them exactly as he had handled the ordinary resources, swallowing their energy into his cultivation without appearing disturbed by their violent nature. To Zhao Yu, this overturned the rules he had trusted throughout his life. The terror was not simply that Chu Feng possessed more power. It was that the young man seemed capable of doing things that Zhao Yu's understanding of cultivation declared impossible. Power can be measured. Something that breaks the expected rules is far harder to face. Then, just before the final natural oddities had been completely refined, Chu Feng's aura suddenly surged. His cultivation barrier shattered. Rank 1 Martial Emperor was left behind. Chu Feng had finally stepped into the realm of a Rank 2 Martial Emperor.
He broke through after refining all of that. He only just managed a single breakthrough. He refined all those natural oddities. He didn't die, and he actually absorbed their natural energy.
Zhao Yu could scarcely process what he had witnessed. The amount of energy Chu Feng had consumed was enormous, yet it had only been enough to lift his cultivation by a single level. But the true significance was not merely the new realm. Chu Feng's heaven-defying battle power already allowed him to fight far beyond his cultivation. Every increase in his base realm therefore magnified a foundation that was already frightening. A single level for Chu Feng could carry far more consequence than several levels for an ordinary cultivator. Chu Feng paid no attention to Zhao Yu's bewilderment. Riding the momentum of his breakthrough, he continued refining until every remaining natural oddity had been exhausted. Those remaining energies were not enough to grant him another breakthrough, but they established an excellent foundation for the next one. The Black Dragon King's inheritance had already given Chu Feng an astonishing harvest.
Senior Beast Emperor has truly treated me well. Eggy, you saw everything too, didn't you? Thigh's time. Our harvest is enormous.
Chu Feng knew that Eggy could neither speak nor answer him at present. Even so, he also knew that she remained awake, witnessing everything he had experienced. With his cultivation advanced and the natural oddities exhausted, Chu Feng rose to his feet and began collecting everything else in the chamber without the slightest restraint. The treasury was astonishingly rich. There had been only one imperial armament, and all resources useful for direct refinement had already been consumed. Yet what remained still consisted largely of priceless treasures. Just as Zhao Yu had said, many of these objects had already vanished from the holy land of martialism. Outside this place, even a single one could provoke desperate competition and bloodshed among cultivators. And this was why the Black Dragon King's legacy was more dangerous than a simple pile of riches. Treasures of this level did not merely grant power, they attracted greed. If knowledge of such a treasury spread, countless experts might gladly turn the martial world into a battlefield for even a fraction of what Chu Feng was now calmly placing into his possession. Chu Feng glanced toward the injured Zhao Yu. Seeing the elder forced to watch treasure after treasure disappear into someone else's hands, a mischievous smile appeared on his face.
What's wrong, jealous?
Zhao Yu, despite his miserable condition, proved that shamelessness required no cultivation realm.
Little friend Chu Feng, there is a saying that when two people discover something together, each should receive half. I'm not asking for half. Surely you can spare me a little.
What do you think I'm going to do?
Chu Feng continued gathering the treasures. One after another, they vanished, until the once magnificent chamber had been swept almost completely clean. Only when there seemed to be absolutely nothing left worth taking did Chu Feng finally turn back toward Zhao Yu, still wearing that same unsettling smile.
I'm almost finished collecting everything here. After that, I'll be able to take you away.
Almost finished, Haven. You already taken everything.
Zhao Yu frowned and searched the empty chamber with his eyes. Chu Feng had left virtually nothing behind. If anything remained untouched, it seemed to be nothing more than the air itself. At that moment, Zhao Yu still failed to understand the danger of Chu Feng's wording. The treasury was empty, but Chu Feng had never said that everything worth collecting belonged to the Black Dragon King.
You're wrong. There's still something left.
Chu Feng raised his hand and made a casual grabbing motion. In the next instant, Zhao Yu's cosmos sack flew directly into Chu Feng's palm. Zhao Yu's expression changed immediately. That cosmos sack contained the treasures he had accumulated throughout his life, and the famously miserly elder could endure many things. But watching his entire fortune fall into Chu Feng's hands was clearly not one of them.
Chu Feng! Exclamation. That belongs to me! Exclamation. You're robbing me.
For Zhao Yu, the cruelest part of this encounter might not have been the lightning, the injuries, or even witnessing Chu Feng seize the Black Dragon King's inheritance. After coveting treasures that were never his, the old miser now discovered that Chu Feng's definition of collecting everything included Zhao Yu's own lifelong fortune as well. And judging by Chu Feng's smile, this reckoning was far from accidental. The seventh path had already become Chu Feng's road of plunder and reckoning. Elder Zhao Yu had lost the advantage, lost the initiative, and now even the possessions he carried were no longer his to protect.
That's right. I'm taking your possessions. What are you going to do about it?
Karma will find you! Exclamation. Our heavenly law palace will never let you escape after doing this.
Zhao Yu tried to recover a fragment of authority through the name of the Heavenly Law Palace, but before Chu Feng, that threat had already lost its weight.
Are you saying the Heavenly Law Palace would spare me if I didn't do this? If my strength had not surpassed yours, wouldn't I already be dead by your hand?
Zhao Yu fell silent. There was no answer he could give, because Chu Feng had struck directly at the truth. This was the cruel logic of the martial world laid bare. Zhao Yu had attempted to kill Chu Feng when he believed himself stronger. Now that the positions were reversed, appealing to rules and morality could no longer erase that earlier killing intent.
Besides, your Heavenly Law Palace already bears deep hostility toward me. Even if you failed to kill me, others from your palace would still come after me. Isn't that so? I don't even know how I offended your Heavenly Law Palace, but one thing is obvious. You consider me a threat.
Without warning, Chu Feng seized Zhao Yu by the lapel and lifted the elder from the ground. The trace of amusement disappeared from his face. What replaced it was a gaze as cold as sharpened steel.
So don't threaten me with words like that. Whether the Heavenly Law Palace intends to let me go or not, I have no intention of letting all of you go.
Chu Feng threw Zhao Yu down. The impact itself was not severe, yet the old man's body began to tremble as though a winter wind had passed straight through his bones. He understood now. Chu Feng had not spoken out of anger, nor had he made an empty threat. He truly regarded the Heavenly Law Palace as an enemy that would eventually have to be confronted. That single declaration marked something larger than a quarrel with one elder. Chu Feng was no longer merely reacting to pursuit. In his heart, the hostility of the Heavenly Law Palace had become a debt that might one day be collected. After leaving the hidden space, Chu Feng continued along the seventh path with Zhao Yu. Before long, the corridor ended in an apparently solid wall.
Chu Feng, it's a dead end. We should go back. Spare me, and I'll treat everything that happened here as though it never occurred. I swear I won't tell anyone.
The change was almost comical. Moments earlier, Zhao Yu had invoked the Heavenly Law Palace like a blade hanging over Chu Feng's neck. Now he was bargaining for peace.
Why are you so eager to leave? There are more treasures ahead. Don't you want to see them?
More treasures.
The fear in Zhao Yu's eyes instantly made room for curiosity. Although he possessed a respectable reputation for kindness and charity, those who truly understood him knew another side of the elder. He was exceptionally stingy when genuine treasures were involved, and profit could seize his attention in an instant. For Zhao Yu, greed was not merely a personality flaw here, it became a weakness. Chu Feng could read almost effortlessly. One mention of treasure was enough to make the elder momentarily forget that he was still a captive. Under Zhao Yu's increasingly eager stare, Chu Feng took out the map given to him by the Compass Immortal. He pressed the map against the wall at the end of the path. Brilliant light immediately spread across its surface. A hidden gate appeared, where there had seemed to be nothing but stone. Chu Feng entered with Zhao Yu. The moment they crossed through, the gate sealed behind them, and from the corridor outside, the place once again appeared to be an ordinary dead end. But on the other side, Zhao Yu stopped moving entirely. Even Chu Feng's eyes brightened. Surprise flashed across his face before becoming unmistakable joy. Before them stretched an astonishingly vast hidden realm, broad enough to hold several 100 million people. Green grass blanketed the earth, each blade gleaming beneath the strange light of the space. Yet there was not a single ordinary flower anywhere. The endless field of green seemed to exist for one purpose alone, to frame the extraordinary tree standing at the heart of this hidden world. The Immortality Peach Tree. Radiance surrounded the ancient tree. Its magnificent form reminded Chu Feng of the enormous tree within the ancient era's remnants of Cyanwood Mountain. One glance was enough to know that this was no ordinary spiritual plant. This tree, however, glowed with a soft pink brilliance. The light did not come from its trunk or branches, but from countless peach blossoms covering its crown. Among those blossoms hung palm-sized fruits, treasures whose names were known throughout the Holy Land of Martialism. Immortality Peaches.
Immortality Peaches! They really are the legendary Immortality Peaches. A single one can increase a person's lifespan by 100 years! And there are 548 ripe peaches here. We've struck it rich! A single Immortality Peach is already immensely valuable. Yet there are hundreds! We've truly struck it rich.
Zhao Yu was so excited that all traces of his elderly composure vanished. Before treasures capable of extending life, reputation, dignity, and caution had been swept aside. The value of these fruits went far beyond wealth. For cultivators who had reached the end of their natural lifespan, a single peach represented something cultivation resources often could not buy: more time. And in the martial world, another 100 years could mean another breakthrough, another opportunity, or simply another century of existence.
You're mistaken. It isn't we who struck it rich. I'm the one who struck it rich.
Those words shattered Zhao Yu's fantasy. In an instant, the elder seemed to fall from heaven into an abyss. The excitement on his face collapsed into grief. Then, abandoning every trace of pride, Zhao Yu dropped to his knees and clung to Chu Feng's leg.
Little friend, Chu Feng, I was wrong! Everything earlier was my fault. Please give me another chance. Let me turn over a new leaf. From today onward, I'll follow you. I'll leave the heavenly law palace and become your attendant. Whatever you order, I won't dare oppose you. Please share some Immortality Peaches with me. I don't need many. 100 would be enough. No, I don't need 100. 10! Just 10 would be enough.
His bargaining collapsed almost as quickly as his dignity. What began as greed soon exposed something much more desperate.
I've already lived for nearly 10,000 years. My lifespan is almost exhausted. I don't have much time left. Those Immortality Peaches can save me. I beg you, give me one more chance. Please save me.
Tears covered Zhao Yu's aged face. To another person, the sight might have stirred sympathy. But Chu Feng had not forgotten what had happened only a short while earlier. This same elder had intended to kill him when victory seemed certain. Mercy in the martial world could be noble, but mercy without judgment could also become stupidity, Chu Feng understood the distinction. Zhao Yu's current desperation did not erase his previous intent to take Chu Feng's life. Chu Feng raised his leg and sent Zhao Yu tumbling away with a kick.
Graham, get as far away from me as you can.
Then Chu Feng turned his attention to the tree and began harvesting the ripe Immortality Peaches. Only after finishing did he realize that Zhao Yu's earlier count had been astonishingly precise. 548 ripe Immortality Peaches, not one more, not one less. And now every single one belonged to Chu Feng. There were still unripe fruits hanging from the tree. Because they had already formed into actual peaches, even those immature fruits possessed the power to increase lifespan. Naturally, Chu Feng tried to take them as well. But no matter what method he used, the unripe peaches refused to separate from the branches. This revealed one of the Immortality Peach Tree's profound laws. Its treasures could not simply be seized through brute force. Only fruit that had fully ripened could be harvested. Maturity itself appeared to be part of the restriction governing the tree. As for uprooting or moving the Immortality Peach Tree itself, such an idea was even more impossible. Behind Chu Feng, Zhao Yu watched everything with an expression of genuine anguish.
Enough. Watching you do this is worse than anything else. You might as well kill me.
This time Zhao Yu was not acting, his grief was real. He truly was close to the end of his lifespan. At most, he had roughly 200 years remaining. After that, death would come, and none of the ordinary treasures within the holy land of martialism could rescue him. The Immortality Peaches were different. They were among the rare things that could genuinely extend the time he had left. Hundreds of them had appeared before his eyes, enough to represent vast stretches of additional life, yet Zhao Yu could not claim even one. That was what made the scene so brutal for Zhao Yu. The treasure he desired was no longer about wealth. He was staring directly at the possibility of escaping his approaching end, while knowing that the person controlling that possibility was the very man he had tried to kill. And perhaps this was the sharpest turn of the chapter. Strength had first decided who could seize the treasure, but character would decide what Chu Feng did with it afterward. Zhao Yu had already seen Chu Feng's ruthlessness. He had yet to discover the limits of Chu Feng's mercy. Then, just when Zhao Yu had fallen into complete despair, Chu Feng's voice suddenly reached him.
Seeing how pitiful you are, I'll give you one.
Zhao Yu froze. Slowly he raised his head. Chu Feng was standing directly before him, and in Chu Feng's hand rested a large ripe Immortality Peach, held out within Zhao Yu's reach. After denying Zhao Yu again and again, Chu Feng had unexpectedly offered the elder exactly what he needed most. Whether this was simple mercy, a calculated choice, or the beginning of another lesson, was something the next moment would reveal.